What's up, guys? Adam Patterson. Never be afraid of starting from zero. Something that I've been thinking about a lot today, and I had to get this video made before the idea either left my eyes or not my eyes, but left my head, and I just stopped thinking about it for a little bit. But never be afraid of starting from zero. You work a job now, or you likely have a job now, because somewhere, some person started from zero. They were sitting on their couch at night, or they were just doing nothing during the day, and they just one moment had an idea of, I could fill this spot in the marketplace by offering said service or said product. Here, check this out. From there, the idea was literally nothing. They made no money off of it. They had no employees. They had no infrastructure. They had no systems. They had no processes. They didn't have a customer. They didn't have a product or anything made yet. They didn't even have a service to fully offer just yet. And it all stemmed from zero. The business that you work at currently, your current job, it came from nothing. And then a founder somewhere had an idea and then said, let me see if this will actually work. And they took it out to the marketplace. They structured an offer. They took it to the marketplace and they built their product or service around what they could sell. And they may have had an idea of what it was going to look like or what it would take, but it's probably gone through multiple iterations, and it all came from zero. And I say this because one of the biggest fears when you step away from your job or when you're thinking about stepping away from your job is going back to zero. But you should only have to do it one time if everything works out properly. But if everything starts to work, you only have to start at zero once. For example, when I walked away from my job in logistics, left my current book of business that I already had, I went from 10 million to zero. After 9 months, really 8 months of hustling, my new baseline is $1 million. I started $1 million going to next year. My current book of business, if I never landed another customer, I would do around 2 million if I had all of my customers for the entire year. I'm starting from 2 million now. I only had to start at zero once. You see what I'm saying? You never want to be afraid of starting at zero because you're only going to be there one time. And as long as you have a good year, a good month, a lucky day, it could all come out to luck. If you call someone 100 times and they pick up on the 100th call, and because of that, you earn yourself a customer, and that customer makes it so that you can just afford to keep doing what you're doing. You don't make any money, but you don't lose any money. It covers all your bills. You have unlimited time at that point. You have purchased yourself unlimited time to then go from what you needed all the way up to the moon, and it never has to stop. And this is something that has dominated my thoughts ever since the day that I started, because everybody wants to think about, I need $1 million, or I need this number. All you need to do is cover your baseline expenses. If you can build yourself a launch ramp of where you think you would need to get to, but if you can build yourself a launch ramp and how much money you can put aside for yourself, and then all you have to do is cover your expenses, and it is not hard to cover your expenses. If you make $300 a day in profit and pay out to yourself, you will make $100,000 in a year. What do you need to cover your actual baseline expenses that you have every single year? Because I'm guaranteed they're probably closer to 20 or 30 grand. If you cut out everything and you just went to zero for a year and you were willing to cut down your lifestyle for a little bit, your expenses are probably somewhere in the 20 to 30 range. If you have a family, I would say closer to 40 range. It's not as much money as you would think, guys. You don't need to sell that much of a product or service in order to make $20,000 to $40,000. I can promise it to you. I can promise it to you. It will be a lot if you're drop shipping and you're trying to make $20,000 to $40,000 a year. But if you're offering a real product or service that you create, or that you can just pretty much make out of thin air and determine your own profit margins, I can't. But if I were offering some type of lawn care service, or something where I went and painted houses, or something along these lines, you can create your own profit margin, especially if it's a digital marketing agency. You create your own profit margin, and pretty much whatever you sell it at is your profit margin. because you're not actually going to pay anybody else for any time. You can use ChatGPT to make yourself logos or make a company logos or help you. You're not really costing yourself anything other than time if you're offering a service-based business that you can do. As long as you make whatever you need for the year, you're fine. Never be afraid of starting from zero, because starting from zero is one of the most freeing times that you could ever have. All of the time that you will have gained back that you don't have to wake up and drive into your office, it's completely worth starting at zero. I will say that from the rooftop if I have to. It's completely worth starting from zero. Me having to not wake up and not drive into an office, and how free I felt not having two phones, a work phone and a personal phone. How free I felt not having a boss who I had to respond to immediately, or else they're going to think I'm not working and they're going to fire me. Not having that weight over your head, it's insurmountable. You would not believe how free you're going to feel when you start at zero. What's going to happen is one day you're going to get lucky because you've put in all the work already, and someone's going to come around and they're going to want to purchase your product or service at the rate that you told them at. You have one. You're no longer at zero. Now it's a proof of concept. You've sold it. Now you can iterate it with that prospect, make it perfect. And now you have social proof because you can say, I've worked with X over here, done this for them. I could probably do the same thing for you, but we should at least have a conversation to see if it's possible. And you're never starting from zero again once you get to one. And then once you get to one, you can easily get to two. Once you get to two, you can get to four, and 4 to 8. And it will compound on itself over and over again. Once you start at zero, you'll feel free. As long as you are able to sit down and actually do the work that's necessary to make your first dollar, to make your first 10, you're going to go as far as you want to go. But never be afraid of starting from zero. And I had to get that out before I lost it in the sauce of all the thoughts that swirl around in this head. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. I hope it's valuable to you. And I hope that you go out and start. Leave the job that you hate. Start from zero. Start the business that you've always wanted to, and start from zero and go all in on it. It'll be totally worth it. Best of luck.